Alright, so in this part we're going to look at the cases and kind of the stock packaging and configuration of these two guns. The black box here obviously is a Springfield XDM9. The blue box here, obviously the Smith & Wesson M&P9. Overall, you can tell just by looking at these two guns that you're getting a lot more stuff. There's a lot more involved with the Springfield. Let's take a look at that one first. We'll move the M&P aside just for a moment. The box itself is a pretty good quality box. I mean, it's definitely not as nice as, you know, an aftermarket box that you might buy, or case I should say, that you might buy for your gun, but it's a very nice. Has some accessory rails along the side, which is kind of cool. The latches, pretty good quality, nice and smooth. There's a place to lock it. Nice handle, feels pretty good and sturdy. If we open it up, ta-da! Getting a lot of stuff going on here. So I don't want to turn this into an unboxing video, but with the gun you get your two 19-round magazines. You obviously get your gun, hopefully. Your replaceable back straps in different sizes. You have a holster for the gun, a holster for the magazine, an auto loader for the magazines. I haven't actually used this auto loader yet. I have another auto loader that I've always used, and I just continue to use that one. Haven't actually used that one yet. Then you have a small little bag of accessories. Here we have a cable lock, a brush for the gun, which I've never used because I just use the brush that I have always used to clean guns, and a small little hex key tool. All included back here is the owner's manual, registration card, things like that. I kind of like the fact that the box stays open like that. You know, the back kind of stops there. Kind of a neat feature. It's a good molded foam. It's not, you know, super soft. It kind of has some rigidity to it, so it's going to protect everything really well. Yet it's soft enough that it's not going to cause any problems. So, very good case. Very customized for what's going on here. You get a lot of stuff with the Springfield, and you should. Let's remember, the Springfield is a higher price point than the Smith & Wesson here. So you're paying more money. You obviously should get a few more extra things with it. So let's put the Springfield aside for a moment, and we'll bring out our Smith & Wesson. Now, this is going to look a little anemic compared to what we just saw, but here's the case for the Smith & Wesson M&P 9mm. As you can see, it's a much smaller case, so obviously not as many things are going to be going on inside of here. The case itself is a little lower quality. Not that it's bad quality, but it's a little bit lower. It's kind of nice though. It has a Smith & Wesson logo on it. A couple of very simple latches here. Pops right open. Just some eggshell foam. Some cut foam over here to make room for a few of the items that you get, which are the pistol, your replaceable back straps, and two 17-round magazines. Back in here you receive your paperwork, owner's manuals, things like that. Pretty good case. Yeah, obviously it's kind of cut out for the gun and whatnot, but you know, we're not talking super duper quality here. But again, let's remember, this gun is a little less money, so obviously some of these features are going to be pared down a little bit with all the stuff that comes with it. So in all, taking these pound for pound, you definitely get a lot more with the XDM. I will say this, I don't actually carry this gun, the Springfield. I don't carry either of them, to be honest with you. So you know, things like a holster and a magazine holster, not really that important to me personally. That might be important to you. It's not really that important to me. I pretty much keep the gun in the case when I'm not using it. I pull it out, take it to the range, or whatever. You know, it's not that I'm carrying this gun around in the holster. So to tell you the truth, I've never even used the holsters, and I don't really have any plans on doing it anytime soon. So these kinds of things, you know, don't really mean a whole lot to me personally, but it's nice to have them. So definitely the Springfield's giving you a lot more features here, but again, higher price. So higher price means a little bit more stuff here, a little bit more minimalistic approach, but you know, price point to reflect it. So we're going to give the edge over here to Springfield with the asterisks of the of a little bit more money, but it's definitely a nicer case and a lot more features and accessories coming with the Springfield than the Smith & Wesson. Alright, let's do a quick breakdown of both of these guns, where we can review the process of how to break down each one of these guns, which is not rocket science, pretty straightforward. And then we'll also take a look at some of the internal aspects of both of the guns, and we'll compare those too. So, well, first of all, we'll disassemble the Smith & Wesson M&P9. So, go ahead and drop our magazine, slide our stop back. There's a small lever located inside the chamber here. It's called the sear deactivation lever. You want to press that down, so it kind of hangs out there. Our breakdown lever, slide that down. Slide will come right off. So now we have our spring rod and our barrel. Very simple, very straightforward. Nothing major, with the exception of that sear deactivation lever. Nothing really out of the ordinary. Pretty easy. Next, let's do the Springfield. So you do have to have the safety depressed in order to actuate the slide. So let's go ahead and let's drop our magazine first. Breakdown lever goes up on this one. Slide will come right off. You don't have any sear deactivator lever or anything like that here. Now this spring on the spring rod is a lot longer and a lot bigger than the one on the M&P, so be a little bit more careful with this one. The first time I ever took this gun apart, I kind of did a free willy with it and went shooting across the room, so you just want to keep that in mind. As you can see, significantly larger than the M&P. So there's our barrel. There's our Springfield all disassembled. Talking about that spring rod, let's take a look at both of them. Obviously, big difference here. I kind of like the Springfield one a little bit better. Main reason why is because you can just stick a pick down in here and pop that apart. Makes it a lot easier to clean this guy all up. You can soak those if you want them, whatever. And then when you're ready, you can just pop that back in there. It's good to go again. This one, not quite as easy to clean. You have to take it apart with a tool, so it's a little bit more difficult to clean. That might be a big deal to some people. To me, it's not a huge deal, but I do wish it was a little easier to clean. That can get a little dirty in there, and kind of trying to clean it with a brush is a little bit of a pain in the butt. I like this one better because you can just pop it apart and just wipe it down with a rag and cleans up a lot quicker and easier. Let's take a look at our two barrels real quick. Bottom one there is obviously the 4.5 inch Springfield barrel. Top one here is their 4.25 inch Smith & Wesson barrel. The Springfield calls theirs a match barrel, and it has the word match printed on the side there. Yeah, whatever. I don't really notice any significant accuracy difference between the two guns. I think they're both very, very accurate. Both guns are known. They have a reputation for being very, very accurate. So, you know, I'm not going to put one gun in front of the other as far as accuracy. But one thing I will point out is if you look at the little ramp on each barrel, where the round would load into the breech there, the ramp is really, really highly polished on the Springfield. I'm not sure if that's showing up real well, but the ramp on the Smith & Wesson, it might look polished because it's used obviously and some rounds have gone through there, but it's not. It's the same as the rest of the barrel, the same color, the same finish as the rest of the barrel is, but this one on the Springfield is just polished to a mirror finish. It is brilliantly silver and is just super smooth like glass, and so that, you know, obviously is going to be much more efficient at loading rounds into the chamber. Having said that, I've never had a failure to load with either of these two guns. I've never had any jams or problems of any type with either gun. But that's a nice feature. So from that standpoint, I would put the Springfield barrel as being a little bit nicer barrel than the Smith & Wesson barrel. Also here, again, I kind of like the spring rod setup of the Springfield over the Smith & Wesson. Just for me, it's just easier to clean. I kind of like it a little bit more. And then you do have that one extra step of having to push down that sear deactivation lever on the Smith & Wesson that you don't have on the Springfield. So kind of one extra step on the M&P. So from all those things considered, I think with breakdown here, two very good guns. Breakdown's very easy for both of them, very easy to understand. But I think I'm going to put a slight edge here towards the Springfield as being a little bit more user-friendly. And that nicer spring and a little bit nicer barrel. Let's go ahead and put these back together. So we'll do the Smith & Wesson first. Barrel, rod, just slides back on. The lever will pop back up on its own, the breakdown lever. You want to get in there with that tool and pop up your sear deactivator level. Magazine. Done. Springfield, barrel, rod. Again, spring's a little bit bigger here, so it's a little bit more tension. There we go. Just slides right back on again. This one, you actually have to put the lever back down. There we go. The breakdown and internal look at both of these guns. Again, I like the Springfield a little bit more.